Alrighty, folks, something you've hopefully seen on the channel is we are starting to really talk about life and as an entrepreneur versus being a W-2 employee. I personally believe, and maybe it's a bias that I have, that all the sex and sizzle comes from being an entrepreneur. The Cody's, Cody Sanchez, Alex Rosie, Gary V. There's not enough love given to the W-2 employee. I now believe the numbers show that it is easiest to become a millionaire being an employee. But if you want to become a multimillionaire or a decamillionaire or 100, then their best shot is being an entrepreneur. But that said, what's wrong with being a millionaire? All righty, folks, we're going to have this conversation with Adrian Hernandez, a true entrepreneur. How you doing, sir?
What's up, everybody? What's going on, Zuber? I'm excited to have this conversation because I'm a little, I agree with both sides, right? But I've been on the W-2 side, right? And so this may get a little interesting.
Yeah, we may have a little confrontation, which the audience would like. Why don't you remind people of your story? Just give them the quick, high level journey. You have a playlist on this channel that's hundreds of videos. They may have forgotten the original Adrian, but tell us your origin story in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So now I own a wholesale real estate company in Dana Point, which is Orange County, California. But I started selling real estate in Rancho Cucamonga, the Inland Empire. Prior to me selling real estate, I don't know if you knew this, Zuber, but I had 22 jobs. I had a total of 22 jobs before I ventured off and became an entrepreneur, right? I worked everywhere, Starbucks, GNC, 3 different pizza houses, the dealerships, multiple car dealerships, right? So I definitely have been in that W-2 sector 22 different times, right? And then I became an agent. I real fast, guys. I door knocked, cold called, was killing it at 24 years old, opened my own brokerage at 25 in Orange County, and I learned a lot. And, it's funny, I didn't make my first $1 million until 9 years into the business, right? And so many people think that you make all this money right away. It took me 9 freaking years. In fact, when I went and opened the brokerage in Orange County, I went backwards. I think I lost like 300 grand. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to have this conversation because I know what it's like to be an employee, guys. And 22 jobs, super crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. I think that's even more evidence that I heard Ed Milet and Andrew Frizella talking the other day, or in a video, right? I didn't hear him talking. I listened to a video those two were on. And they basically said that their numbers, I'm just repeating what I remember, about 8% of us are naturally born entrepreneurs. You just don't fit the W-2 life. And I would argue 22 jobs in a couple of years, probably not for you. That's what I'm taking from that conversation. You're in the 8%, which obviously means 92% are kind of wired like me to be an employee, right? That's all I've ever known. I don't have any entrepreneurs in my family. It's just, I still struggle with that.
Right.
But all I see out there, Adrian, and maybe again, it's my bias, it's my algorithm, it's my feed because I'm seeking mindset, I'm seeking positive, I'm seeking growth. So maybe I'm feeding myself a small piece of the overall pie. But everything I see is being an entrepreneur is easy, sexy, millionaires. I don't see anybody saying I didn't make any money for 9 years. I don't see anybody saying I lost 300 grand the first year. I don't see any of that. It really feels to me that people are selling the vision of entrepreneurship without the reality of all the upfront pain. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. And I think here's the issue. It's because it's so mainstream, nobody even gives them their chance to go become a W-2 employee. Like I knew what it was like to become a W-2 employee for 22 times until I realized this was not for me. And other people,
I
they're
don't
going,
fit.
yeah, I don't, this is not working, right? There's a reason why. And some of you guys are going right into becoming an entrepreneur and you have zero idea how to follow. You know what it is, Zuber? When I had my W-2 jobs, they taught me how to follow. They taught me how to listen to instructions. They taught me how to, and I have a major problem with that, by the way, right?
Clearly, 22 times, clearly.
I have a major problem with that. But I feel like nobody gives themselves a chance because it is so mainstream, right? And some of you entrepreneurs need to sit your ass down at a W-2 job and check yourself because what you're doing is not It's not in alignment with who you are. I see them running around here all day long and they're broke.
Well, see, that's the problem I have with this. I want people to give themselves the best chance at wealth. I personally believe, my personal belief is that we live in the greatest time, in the greatest economy, to have the greatest chance to move the financial needle forward. It's not easy. Here's a hint, folks. It's never been easy. It's never been easy. But it's there for you. This device that we all walk around with is a gold mine if
Yep.
you know how to use it.
Yep.
It is also an anchor. I believe a lot of people are using this device as an anchor because they are following and being led astray. They're being sold the sizzle without the work.
Yep.
And there's no joy calling yourself an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, when you're losing 10 grand a month and you can't pay your bills.
No.
Go work at a pizza joint. Do something, right? Get that income going. The other thing that I believe, and I think we've talked about it, I think getting wealthy is 3 steps. It's just 3 steps. You've got to create disposable income. Even Grant Cardone talks about this.
Most
And he's an
definitely.
entrepreneur through and through, right?
Yep.
He's like, bust your ass, bust your ass, bust your ass, save a bunch of money. Step 2, become an elite investor. He's obviously in real estate. We are in real estate. Buy assets and then live on the cash flow, right? The third step, just to clear it up, is 10 years. You need time. The
Yeah.
thing that bugs me about the entrepreneur message, and you hit it right up, so I'm kudos to you, is it takes time. It takes
Time.
time.
And a lot of time. And they don't give themselves that time. You guys, there's, and I know I obviously have my own side to the W-2 side, right? But I would say for majority of you, there's nothing wrong with it. But Zuber, stop me when I'm wrong. It's also a perception because they don't want their friends to know that they then went and got a real freaking job. Because some of you entrepreneurs don't have a real freaking job. A matter of fact, let me bash on entrepreneurs real fast. You guys have 0 job. You have 0 clue what you're doing. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You have 0 idea of operations, and you don't realize that it's going to take you 10 years to learn that on your own. Go get a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Running it, being on, you're absolutely right. Getting a job teaches you a lot of stuff. Often the employers will invest in you. You'll learn, even if it's a service job, Pizza Hut, GNC, all these places that you listed the first 2022, you learn something from all of them,
Most
right?
definitely.
And I just think, and again, let's talk about this, right? Let's say we go into a recession. The recessions happen. I would tell a lot of entrepreneurs, swallow your pride, go get a job, right? That'll pay the bills so you don't go bankrupt, and then do whatever you want on the side. And I say this as someone who should have done it this way. I should have built the one rental at a time brand while I was still working. Can you imagine? Even if I did it the last 10 years, and I've been doing this 20 years, even if I did it the last 10 years, and I just built it slowly, and then I left at 45, it would have been, I'd be twice or 3 times the size I am now, right? There's nothing that says you can't work 8 to 5 and then work 7 to 10 on your thing. It's okay.
I could not agree more. And some of you guys would be in a better position had you just went and take the W-2 job. Some of you are stressing out trying to build this entrepreneur, this business, and you have no cushion. That W-2 job gives you the cushion. It gives you the cushion to go do what you need to do.
Gives you options. You're more, dude, you're more bankable.
Exactly.
How would you like to get a loan at 5% instead of 15? I mean, geez.
I don't think you guys realize the sleepless nights that we go through. I don't think you guys realize the headaches that we go through. It's interesting. It is beyond interesting. We lost like 250 grand last month, right? A matter of fact, 250, 254, 255, 254 is some change, right?
Not that you know the exact number, 254. That's an entrepreneur right there. That was not fun.
No, it was not fun. I didn't even want to look at the number, right? But I bring up this loss because I talk to some people that are just starting off, and I tell them this. I say, you guys, if you were to take that loss tomorrow, because some of you are getting into flips, if you were to take that loss tomorrow, what do you do? What do you do? Why
Bankrupt.
don't you? Exactly. Yeah, you're done. You're done. And now you're going to a W-2 job less confident, defeated with your tail between your legs. Why don't we just make this easier for us? And you guys, don't get me wrong, I'm all about entrepreneurship. I'm all
Yeah, you
about
are.
it. However, some of you do not belong in the entrepreneur space. I'm sorry to tell you it. And you can
Yeah.
get mad all you want. It's just not who you are. There's a reason why fish don't, well, there's a reason why certain fish stay with certain fish, right?
Yep.
There's a specific reason for it.
I want to go back to that because I think that's the first time I've ever heard it, but I agree with you. There are some, like I said earlier, some people are naturally entrepreneurs and some are employees. But I think that what you just said is the reverse, and it's so awesome to hear that from an entrepreneur. There are some of you claiming entrepreneurship that should not be entrepreneurs. You're hurting yourself, you're hurting your family, you're going backwards. It's just, it's so awesome to hear you say that.
Take it off your Instagram bio. Just stop it. Just stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. And because it's so trendy, Zuber, I want my high school friends to click on my Instagram and see I'm an entrepreneur and I own adrianhernandez.com. Like, get out of here. Stop that shit. Like, I think so many of us are trying to be the boss when you don't even know what it's like to be an employee. You cannot be an boss until you've learned to be an employee. It is impossible.
I love it. Because you're gonna have employees. You're gonna have to treat. Oh, it's so awesome to hear you say
And then
that.
how do you deal with them when you don't even know, when you've never been dealt with the boss before, you've never been told what to do, you've never had accountability, and now all of a sudden you're gonna go hold someone else accountable? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
It's like me trying to swim and not knowing how to freaking tread water.
Yeah, it's like throwing you. Yeah, it's throwing you in the middle of the ocean, saying, "Good luck getting to shore." Where's the shore? Yeah, I'm done.
I mean, you guys, I love what I do. I love the entrepreneur spirit and I love seeing people get after it. But some of you guys, like Zuber said, you're costing your family time. You're costing yourself time. You're costing yourself money by trying to be somebody that you're not.
Yeah. So let's break this down a little bit. I love this conversation. Let's start with three. Let's talk about three characteristics. Because again, you're an entrepreneur, you're through and through, making seven figures, all good. You could absorb a 254,000 and some chain loss in a month. Not fun, but you could, right? You plan for that. What are like three traits that set somebody up for having a chance at success, not guaranteeing success, but they have a chance of going there? And again, hopefully you hear this list, folks, and you'll say, you know what, that's probably not me, or at least not me yet. What are like a couple of traits?
I would say the first one is tough skin to be able to deal with adversity. You know,
it comes fast, right? It's all hard the first couple of years.
It's very hard. And if you're a child that has been given things, or if you were popular in school, it's going to be really hard for you. Because see, I've dealt with adversity my entire life. I'm 5'5" on a good day, right? I'm just being honest here. I've dealt with adversity my entire life. I've had girls that would come up and be like, "You're cute, but too short." In like the fifth grade. Like, I know what it's like to be rejected at a very early age. I was also, no one knows this, I was fat up until like the seventh grade. So I would get picked on for being fat, for smell, for being short. Like, I was able as a child to go through some adversity that I believe set me up in the future. Some of you have lived a popular life, and when you get into this entrepreneur space and someone tells you no, you can't deal with it.
Yeah, if you got a bunch of if you are displaying 8th place trophies, don't go. Not a good idea.
It's going to be very hard for you unless you are super competitive and you're the type of person that has tough skin regardless.
Well, no, here's the deal. If you're competitive, you are not displaying 8th place trophies. If you have 8th place trophies on the wall, don't bother. Because you're a winner, you're only throwing up the first place trophy. That's all that goes up.
Yeah, but I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So that's number one trait. You've got to have tough skin. I like it. What's number two?
Number two is the resilience to push forward after you're told no. right? It's one thing to absorb it, and then it's another thing to push forward through it, right? It's one thing to get told no and then being able to still proceed afterwards. So the tough skin is being able to absorb it. The resilience is being able to proceed afterwards, right? Can you still show up the next day just as fired up as you did the day before after losing 250 grand, after losing 10 grand, 20 grand? Right? Because if you guys, if you don't have the resilience to move forward after a hundred, let's call it $1,000 hit, how are you
Yeah.
going to suffer? How are you going to deal with $100,000 hit?
I love this because, like you, growing up, I was never the popular dude. I was the least popular person in my entire family, right? Aunts, uncles didn't like, I mean, just just, like, I stopped going to family gatherings at 13 because I was clearly like the least favorite person, which is totally fine by me. At least
I'm sorry,
I,
Zuber.
I don't give a fuck. It doesn't bother me. I guess it bothers me a little bit since I'm still talking about it, but it really doesn't. I went from a public school to a private school where I had to take a bus. And this was with kids who were driving Beamers and Corvettes to school. So let's just say getting off a bus to go to school was not a whole lot of fun. Um, I didn't know anybody. I was like one of two people that went from my school to there. It was horrible. High school was horrible. And like you said, kind of point two, I just developed this FU attitude. It's like the more you tell me I can't, you know, all right, let's see.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of that FU
And,
attitude from just pain as a teenager, just pain.
and you can see it in how much you follow through. You can see
Oh,
it in how much I mean, look at it.
dude,
You know
I'm
what
a
I mean? It's
hammer.
episode after episode.
Yes, I am a I that is where the hammer came from. Is all right. I don't know all this other stuff. I'm not popular. I don't have this, don't have that, but I know how to work. I know how to work. Yeah.
That holds weight.
There
That
you go,
holds
buddy. All right, let's give up number three. So no eighth place trophies. You got the FU attitude. What's the third one that gives you a good shot at some success?
The third one would be a little mix of coachability and the ability to follow.
Ooh, yeah, I
So
agree. I agree. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of us that don't know how to follow. Again, you're so popular, right? Everything's been done your way that you do not know how to take instructions very well. And with that being said, that leads to you not being coachable. So therefore, every time you mess up and someone tries to help you correct it, you put up this
Yeah.
wall, this ego wall. I can do it all on my own. I got this, right? And you get nowhere.
Yeah.
One thing that I have been I'm very grateful is that my dad taught me how to be coachable.
Mm.
As a young kid, I was in the engine bay of a car. I can take part of a car and put it back together. I was in
Wow.
the engine bay of a car, and he would teach me how to be coachable. Son, listen, do this, do that, and
Yeah.
and as a very young age, I learned what it was like to be coachable, to being able to
Mm.
take someone's advice and then implement it. And I say this because I give a lot of advice to people and I don't see them ever taking the action on it. And I believe it's because of the coachability. I watch Michael Zuber's channel, and the amount of information that is given on this channel would make you a multi-millionaire if you implemented it, if you just did some action. Sorry, it gets me hyped because it's like, what the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, it's really funny. I think there's so much in that I agree with. Um, when in the beginning of creating this, you get invited to coffee a lot, which I'm sure you still do, right? Hey, can I pick your brain? Can I do all this nonsense, right? Which I don't do anymore. I'm like, watch the channel. The reason I stopped doing it is because I told them what to do and they would freaking argue with me, make excuses why it doesn't work for them,
Yep.
or simply not do anything. I'm like, sorry, if you're going to ask me my opinion, I'm going to spend the time giving it to you, and then you don't do it for whatever reason. I will not waste my time anymore. It's just like I can't. You get in a room with somebody worth nine, eight, nine figures, no, eight figures, and you don't do what they say. I mean, are you serious? Oh, it pisses me off.
And we see it over and over and over again, which is why content is so recyclable because nobody
Yeah,
implements it. We say the same thing.
Yeah, same
And you like
thing. Couple
and
different words, different
you
date.
like the video, you save it, you send it to your friends. This is fire. This is the best thing. You just heard that shit 2 months ago and you still didn't do anything about it.
From the same guy.
Exactly. You know what those are called? Those are called ask holes,
Ash.
right? Ask holes. They ask and they don't do anything about it. The same guy
Oh,
that asked me to go to coffee is the same guy that asked me to go to coffee every single year. And I go, did you implement anything that you learned from the channel? Did you go back and watch the segment I did with Zuber? No. Well, what the
yeah. I have a very hard. I say no every time. It's just like you know, it's funny because I got to the point like, okay, I'll go to coffee, but you have to read my book. What happened? They all bought the book. Okay, so they ordered it right in front of me on their phone from Amazon. I can't remember a single person calling me back that actually read it. I'm like, are you? People
Wow.
can read my book in a day,
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my god.
That is
Oh,
crazy.
it's crazy. Well, let's talk more about entrepreneurship. Would set them. The other thing I think, I don't know how to say this without sounding crazy, but I think a lot of people get into entrepreneurship thinking it's going to be a lot quicker.
Mm,
Their
mm.
their their time orientation is off, right? I tell people that hey, it's 10 years to get wealthy. And they hear when I say 10 years, I think they translate that to 10 days or 10 weeks. It's
Most
10
definitely.
years.
I was that person. I was
Me.
that. I got like 5 years in and realized, holy shit, I got a lot of work to do. and
Oh my
and
God.
you know what's and Zuber, have you noticed the people that do? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are those people that right off the gate crush it, but how long do they last?
No, well here, well, you want to know what the reality? Let's go back to 2020 and let's pretend for a moment you're a brand new real estate agent.
Right.
You're selling, you don't even have any idea what you're doing, but everybody's buying homes, you're selling stuff. You probably make multiple six figures that year if you're in a high-end market like Orange County. What do? Well, if you're like most people, you get freaking stupid. You buy a second or third car. You probably do some stupid vacations for Instagram. And now you fast forward to 2023, the market's different. You're bankrupt and you're back working as a barista. The people that get that instant hit, it's like lotto winners. They're
Yep.
gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So,
What does Pitbull say? I love his Pitbull has these always little, they
yeah.
always rhyme, right?
I got to tell folks, my dream guest to interview is Pitbull. I would love
Is
to interview him. I would love to interview him.
Dude, I
I think
love
he's
how
awesome.
his words come together. He puts it into a rhyme, right? He says fat. I'm gonna butcher what he says, so I'll just give you the cliff
Yeah, do
notes.
it. Go for
Right?
it.
Something about what comes fast goes even faster, right?
Right.
What
Yep.
comes fast goes even faster. It's like drug money, right? Drug money,
Yep.
just as fast as you make it, is just as fast as you spend it, right? And it's funny because some of you are treating your real estate money like drug money, and it's coming in and it's coming out faster. A matter of fact, some of you are spending. And why? Because I've been here year one. I spent my commission check before I knew it was coming.
Oh, yeah. And then the deal fell apart and you've already committed.
And
Boom.
now and now I'm asking my mom and dad for money, and my mom and dad are saying, "Go pound sand, son, figure it out."
Yeah. I ain't got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
The piggy
exactly.
bank is closed. Yeah. It's yeah, it is it's time. If I could get people just to understand it takes years to build something meaningful, it's and that's why I go back to kind of how I opened. I think if your goal is to become a millionaire, I believe it's easiest to do that as an employee.
Yeah.
It's dependable, you can save, you can manage your spending, you can go in the stock market or whatever your thing is. And in a decade or two, a millionaire is actually not that hard as long as you keep focused on your spending. But if you want to be worth 10 or more, then it's really got to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
But I think most people would be happy with $1 million. I mean, if you believe the statistics, something like 80% of people live check to check. Most people have less than 10 grand or whatever. It's just, I just want people to change their mindset. I wish if I ever got to interview Alex Hormozy or Cody Sanchez, I would ask them something like, do you feel like you're doing a disservice? Because I think both of them are amazing speakers.
Right.
I would pay to see them speak, right? So I'm I don't want people to hear me bagging on them. That's not what I'm doing.
Right.
But what I want to hear from them is I think their message is only for a subset of the people watching.
Most definitely.
But I think everybody watching goes, "Oh, I want some of that. I want to be Alex Hormozi. I want to be Cody Sanchez. I want." You're not wired that way, people. Stop it.
No, and as you say this, Zuber, I think about you and I think about the success you've had from your W-2 job. And I think about people that have been in the real estate, that are real estate agents, that have been real estate agents longer than you've been an employee and then doing
Yeah.
what you're doing. And they are so far behind you that it is insane. And their life would have been so much easier had they just taken this route, had they just had a channel that or a segment that they can go watch to realize they're right. I need to go back. I need to take a few steps back so I can take a whole lot of steps forward.
Yeah. So let's switch gears. One of the things that I think is true is the upside of being an entrepreneur is much more than an employee. I think for most employees, there's a cap on what you can make. Even if you're commissioned like I was, there was really a cap, but it's bigger. But being an entrepreneur, it does offer tremendous upside. You talked about making $1 million in a year, your ninth year, the first time, so you've done it multiple times. Um, just talk about it being worth it, right? Because you did get to the finish line. It took longer than you expected, but you got there. So let's celebrate a little bit. Let's tell people if it's them and they put in the work that it's worth it. Let's celebrate that a little.
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding, right? But I will say this though, and this is a little contrary to the question because it was rewarding, but it also wasn't. It was like when you got that car that you always wanted. It
Yeah.
was like you got it, and then 2 days in, you realized it wasn't all cracked up what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Right. And as
Yeah.
much as I want to celebrate it and say, oh, you can do all these things and have all this stuff. And with more money, Biggie Smalls said this, with more money, more problems. And I
Yeah.
couldn't agree with you more. It's funny. My younger cousin just moved into the apartments that my wife and I first moved into when we first started dating.
Oh,
And we were talking to my cousin on Sunday and she was telling me, she's like, oh yeah, we moved into the apartments. And I looked at my wife and I go, what simple times? What
yeah.
simple times? And my cousin
Life
goes,
was easier.
I go, life was easier. My cousin goes, just curious, would you ever like if you could go back, would you ever go back? And I go, now that I'm here, I probably, I hate to say this, but my wife and I kind of looked at each other, and a part of us for a split second goes, yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. Shit was easy. Shit was
Yeah.
really easy. Like we didn't have to worry about so much things. So as glamorous as it is to get to 1 million, guys, there's so much shit that comes with it. And then from there, if you're a high achiever like us, it's like, what? Well, then we got to get to 5, and then you got to get to 10, and then it never fucking
Oh,
ends.
let's talk about that. That is one thing. I don't know. I don't know if I could say I got right, but it certainly happened to me. Right. I got to some number on the financial freedom mountain or ladder or whatever you want to call it. And I sat down. And I've been sitting down for 5 years. I mean, I reserved the right to stand up and go higher, but the view is amazing. I mean, it's freaking amazing. So let's talk about, because that's one of the things that I see in entrepreneurs, like you just talked about. You get to the number, the car, and it's always big. See, I actually disagree with you on that car statement. I got my dream car 5 or 6 years ago, and I still smile when I turn it on,
I like
right?
that. I wish I
I'm
had
on
that.
I'm on the mountain. I'm loving it, right? My 550 SL twin turbo V8 fucking autumn, 2-seat hard top convertible every day. Every
I
day.
love it.
Just and I remember I was 19 years old. I saw a dentist roll up in a version of that, and I'm like, someday, dude, it's a 6-figure car. And I'm like, I never thought it was possible. But we got there. And I still smile every day. And I'm just thinking about this because I think I'm smiling because I got to where I wanted and I sat down. Yeah,
Mm,
sure. Being Thatch Nguyen, a buddy of ours, having the Ferrari and the Bentley and all that would be cool, I guess. But I don't have that. I just don't have that itch.
yeah.
And there's a That's a vicious loop you're in, dude. If you get to the million and then you want 1.5 million, you get there and you want to, that sounds exhausting.
Those cars right that car right there is $3.5 million.
Is that a Lira or whatever they call that thing?
It's the Koenigsegg, the one.
Koenigsegg. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
my problem. My problem is that I get to the mountain and I go, okay, where's the next one?
Yeah, I
And I
don't
don't think
know
I've ever
why.
sat down, Zuber.
It's amazing. It's just amazing.
But you could see these bags, you could see these wrinkles. I'm only
Sleepless
30,
nights.
I'm only 32 years old.
Oh, that's hilarious. 32, I'm 51. Oh, that's amazing.
I'm sorry, I'm 33. I'm 33.
No, no, oh, that's
I'm
different.
sorry.
That's different. 33. Yeah, I that that would be exhausting to me. I mean, Grant Cardone is to me is the epitome, right? He gets to a number bigger, he gets to a number bigger. And again, I think he enjoys, I think he's wired to enjoy that. I think
Right,
that's his addictive nature, just in a good way, in a positive way.
right.
That would exhaust me. And I mean, what I have today is 10 times bigger than I ever thought possible. Now, maybe that's because I felt like a loser my whole life, or I was just beaten up and trashed. But I I'm enjoying the view, and I'm still okay with that, I guess. Weird.
So good.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's good or bad. It's the truth. No judgment needed. It's just the truth.
Right. Well, and I say good and because I believe good goes both ways, right? But
Sure.
I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying on like I drive my wife crazy. I drive my wife in. My wife is like my wife is more of a W-2 employee. She would never as I say this, I love you. You know, I'm not bashing on you in any way,
No,
shape,
no.
or form. If my wife ever watches this, but she's a W-2 employee. She's not,
Yeah.
she tried to create her own business and she realized this is not for me, but I drive
Yeah.
her crazy. We just went to Wyoming on a trip, and the first thing I'm doing is going and grabbing real estate catalogs, and I'm like, "We're buying this house. We're buying." She goes, "That's a $12 million house. Like, we're gonna figure out how to buy it." And she's like,
Yeah.
"You
We'll
are
figure it out.
exhausting." She goes, "You are exhausting. It was a
Can we
goal.
just
Just
enjoy the trip?
yeah." She goes, "We just got here. Can you chill out?" And in my mind, it's just like, she goes, "You're gonna die running, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
die running." But again, guys, there's not
Oh,
like
this is
if
good.
you're not wired that way, if you're not, I've accepted that's who I am. I've accepted it, right? And yes,
Mm.
this is why I keep people like Zuber, like Ty, like people really close to me to help me with this. But some of you, you're not wired that way, and you're gonna jump into this, and it's gonna be bad, guys. Like just you know, I forgot who said this, but know thyself. Like know thy.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be as much as some of you want to be Hermosi. Stop trying to be Hermosi. Like
You're
just
not Hermosi. It's
Hermosi
just,
is a unique animal. He is a unique human being for a reason.
he's a unicorn. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
So
let's
good.
close on this. The thing that I come to you for, and you've helped me over the years on, is mindset.
Hmm.
How do you how do you manage to lean positive even in an environment that has chaos, that has $254,000 in change losses? You still lean positive. How do you watch that mindset? Because I think that is a gift that you have.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this really simple because I actually just recently identified it. I've realized I've been doing it, but I recently identified it. It was being grateful for when we went through the loss. The first thing I thought about was, well, I'm grateful that my wife is breathing, my
Mm,
son is breathing, I'm here. I'm looking at $1 million boats because our office is in the harbor. I'm looking at $1 million boats. I have to learn to get myself really present with where
mm,
I'm at and not let what is happening control where I'm currently standing. So for instance, that day when we found out, it was actually really hard. It was, and I'm still working on this, right? I
right.
still went into a little bit of anxiety and then I was, you know what, go home. I went
Yeah.
home and I hugged my family and I realized like even if we
Uh,
lost it all today, I still got them,
right.
right? And
Okay.
that's what, I reached down and pet my two dogs. And it was that I realized had no monetary amount to. There was no money attached to these people or animals. And
Mm,
that is what helped me. And I didn't realize that I did this over the years, right? I didn't realize that I would sit down and be like, okay, well, what am I grateful for? Well, I'm breathing right now. I got my lungs. I got 5 fingers. I got 5 toes, right? Things could be a lot worse.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, again, bad things happen in all our lives, whether you're a W-2 employee or an entrepreneur. I think getting present and knowing what you have is great advice because, again, bad things happen all the time. So I think that's great advice. Adrian,
Well,
where can people find you, follow you, see what you're doing? Because you're doing a lot of amazing stuff.
Instagram, guys, at Adrian Hernandez, and YouTube. But I got a question for you, Michael. What do you
Yep.
do to stay in the chaos times? What do you do to, because obviously you've experienced it on the W-2 side and on
Yep.
the entrepreneur side. Can you explain both?
Yeah. So for the W-2 employee, I developed a mindset that I always knew that I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's just who I was. I always knew I could do more. I could do better. Right? Bad things happen, right? In sales, you get told no 100 times. To me, no is permission to ask a different question. It's not how most people hear it. It's just permission to ask a different question. And I was always comfortable doing the work. I never looked backwards. Bad demo, bad sales call, told to F off, lost to a competitor. I never looked that way. I'm always looking that way. And that allowed me to control, because you can control what's ahead of you. What's done is done. I spend 0 time back there.
So good.
Today, as an entrepreneur, let's first just be honest. Even doing this for 5 years, I do not consider myself an entrepreneur. I'm a guy who has found that he talks to friends 5 days a week for 2.5 to 3 hours. I've cultivated this community of amazing individuals. I get to ask questions that I'm interested in. It's not work. It's fun for me. So maybe that's just my mind telling me I'm not an entrepreneur, because I don't want that stress. I don't want the stress of being an entrepreneur, but I don't mind talking to buddies for 3 hours a day. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I could talk to somebody at 8 and then 9 and 10, where most people are working.
Right.
So it's how I choose to see things. I have very, very few bad days because my life is so controlled at this point. And again, we're only here because of 20 years of investing and lots of sacrifice. And I got to tell you, we were made fun of for probably 15 years in our social circle, and they were talking behind our back, I'm sure, but it worked out. And the other thing is we're not taking any undue risks, right? We've built what we built. We're happy with what we have. We're making incremental changes on the edges, but we're not going to put it all on black and blow it up, right? So, yeah, I think my strength as an employee was looking ahead, not back. The strength today is I'm happy where we're at and sitting down, right? I don't have that burning desire to be a billionaire. It's just I don't have it. And I think there's some comfort in that.
Most definitely. It sounds like you've learned to simplify it.
Yeah, it's really weird now that I'm saying this stuff out loud. I was goal oriented since I was 15 years old. I had a commission at 15, either weekly, monthly, or quarterly for 30 years.
Wow.
Today, none of that. None of that. And it's weird to think of that. Wow, that's kind of cool.
That's good. I like that.
There you go. Well, Adrian, one more time, where can they find you?
Guys, Instagram at Adrian Hernandez. Appreciate all of you. Zuber, can't wait for the event, man. I look forward to seeing all of you guys at the ORAD event. Let's go.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.